Today we are doing a coin flip battle slash alternate history video, and this one will be the 2016 presidential election, and this one will be between Republican John Kasich and Democrat Martin O'Malley, and Kasich was the governor of Ohio, Martin O'Malley the governor of Maryland, so a battle of the governors. And like I said, this is a coin flip battle, so it's not the usual alternate history video, it's not a prediction, but like I said, just a coin flip battle, and I did do one recently between Dwight D. Eisenhower and Douglas MacArthur 1952 election coin flip battle. And like I said, this is a 2016 one between Governors Kasich and Martin O'Malley. And so I figured it'd be another fun one to do. And I hope you enjoy this one. And if you haven't checked out the 1952 one yet between MacArthur and Eisenhower, go check that out. It was pretty fun to do. And I believe this one will be too. And in this one, Kasich will be heads, Martin O'Malley will be tails. So let's get into it. And Washington will be the first state. And that goes heads, so John Kasich wins Washington. All right, and next one is Oregon. I will also go Kasich. And next one is California. I will also go Kasich. So Kasich sweeps the West Coast, and Martin O'Malley still doesn't have any electoral votes yet. But the next day is Alaska. Let's see if O'Malley can go on the board. And he will not. So that goes Kasich. So Kasich is undefeated right now. Next state is Montana. Let's see if Kasich can keep up his streak. And he will. So Kasich is undefeated right now. Martin O'Malley is in a hole right now, but next day is Idaho. Let's see if O'Malley can finally get one. And he will not. So Kasich hangs on. Kasich still undefeated, dominating right now with 84 electoral votes. Next day, Wyoming. Oh, and O'Malley does get on the board. So O'Malley wins Wyoming, but that's only 3 electoral votes. Next state is Utah. I will go Kasich. Next state, Nevada. I'll go O'Malley. So O'Malley's finally getting into it, but with very few electoral votes, he only has 9 right now. Next day is Arizona. I'll go Kasich. So Kasich's still dominating despite O'Malley getting 2 states now. Next state, Colorado. I will also go Kasich. All right. Next state, New Mexico. I will go O'Malley. All right. So they're trading. So O'Malley, like I said, has a few states here on the West Coast, but Kasich has most of them. O'Malley with only 14. Kasich with 110. Next state is North Dakota. I'll go Kasich. Next state, South Dakota. See if Kasich can sweep them, and he does. So Kasich sweeps the Dakotas. Next state is Nebraska at large. Let's see if Kasich can continue a streak, and he will. Kasich wins Nebraska at large. Next one is Nebraska second. Oops. We may do that there. All right. And I will go O'Malley. So he goes Nebraska second. Next one is Nebraska's third. I will go Kasich. Next one is Nebraska's first. I will also go Kasich. All right. So Kasich wins all of Nebraska except the second. That goes Martin O'Malley. Next day is Kansas. I will go O'Malley. All right. Next state, Oklahoma. I will also go O'Malley. Next day is Texas. I will go Kasich. All right. Next state, Minnesota. I will go Kasich. Next state, Iowa. I will also go Kasich. Next state, Wisconsin. Let's see if O'Malley can get back into it. And he will, as O'Malley takes Wisconsin. Next state, Michigan. I will go Kasich. All right. Next state, Missouri. I will go Kasich. Next state, Arkansas. Usually a deep red state, of course. And I will stay with Kasich. And now he's up to 206. O'Malley only has 38, so he definitely needs to start picking up some steam here if he wants to get back into it and have a shot at winning. It's a long shot right now, but let's see if he can do it. Next state is Louisiana. I will go Kasich. Next state, Hawaii. 3 electoral votes. Let's see if O'Malley can get those. And he will. All right, so You notice O'Malley's usually getting these smaller states with electoral votes. It doesn't seem he wants the ones with the bigger ones, except Wisconsin. That's the most he's gotten with 10. But all the other states have been in the single digits, and that includes Hawaii. So he only has 42 electoral votes. The next state is Illinois. Let's see if he can get that one. He will not, so that goes to Kasich. Kasich is inching closer to that 270 mark. Next day is Indiana. That will go O'Malley. All right, so he gets that one. So Indiana and Wisconsin is the states he's gotten them with the most electoral votes so far. And the next one is Ohio, which of course is Kasich's home state. Let's see if he can get it, or if O'Malley will. And it actually goes O'Malley. All right, so Kasich does not win his home state. O'Malley gets Ohio. The next state is Kentucky. That will go for Kasich. So he rebounds from not winning Ohio. And the next day is Tennessee. I will also go for Kasich. All right, so he is getting closer at 270. Next day is West Virginia. I will go for O'Malley. All right. So yeah, he keeps on winning these states with very few electoral votes. Pretty funny, but doesn't seem he doesn't want much big states. He's only got Wisconsin, Indiana, and he also got Ohio. That's his biggest state thus far with electoral votes. But moving on to the next state, Virginia. I will go for O'Malley. All right, so he sweeps with the Virginias. Next day is North Carolina. I'll go for Kasich. Oh man, he's just 2 electoral votes away from being over the top. Let's go to DC. I goes for Kasich, and that actually will put him over the top. 271. Let's go to Maryland. That is O'Malley's home state. Let's see if he can win that at least. And he does not. So Kasich wins O'Malley's home state, but O'Malley wins Kasich's home state. So pretty interesting there. The next day is Delaware, 3 electoral votes. I'll go for Kasich, so he adds on to his already big total. The next day is New Jersey. So O'Malley does take New Jersey. Even though he won't win this election, he does win New Jersey, so he gets those 14 electoral votes. Next day is Connecticut. I will go for O'Malley as well, so he is starting to win some northeastern states here, but Kasich did win the first few there. Next day is Rhode Island. I will go for Kasich, however. Next state, Massachusetts. We'll go for Kasich. All right. Next state, Vermont. I will go for Kasich as well. Next state, New Hampshire. I will go for O'Malley. All right. And we got Maine at large here next. So who gets that? I'll go for O'Malley. All right. So let's take that back off. And the next one is Maine's 1st district. I will go for Kasich. And next one is the 2nd district, which is represented by Jerry Golden. I will go for Kasich, however. Next state, New York, 29 electoral votes. I actually go for O'Malley. Next state, Pennsylvania, 20 electoral votes. I will go for O'Malley as well. All right, so now we got these southern states left. South Carolina is the next one. I'll also go for O'Malley. All right, so he's finally getting some steam here. He's not going to win, obviously, because Kasich is already clinched, but he is at least in the hundreds now and getting closer to 200 electoral votes. Let's see if he can crack 200. The next one is Georgia, and that will go for O'Malley, so now he's getting closer to cracking 200. The next one is Alabama. Also go for O'Malley. All right, so now he's just one away from cracking 200, so he needs to win one of these 2 states, and he will make it to at least 200 electoral votes. Next one is Mississippi. And O'Malley will crack 200, as he has 205 winning Mississippi. And now the final state is Florida. Let's see if Kasich can add on to his total, or if O'Malley gets it. And Kasich does, so he adds on to his already victory, and he gets 333 electoral votes. O'Malley gets 205, so a pretty interesting flip here battle. Kasich did dominate initially there in the West, and O'Malley was able to get a few states there, and he did get Kansas and Oklahoma, and also Nebraska second. Got Hawaii, got Wisconsin, got some of these Midwestern Rust Belt states, Indiana, Ohio, and was able to do pretty well in the South, and got a few Northeastern states where he's from Maryland. He however, did not win his home state of Maryland, win for Kasich. But pretty even matchup, at least in the Northeast and South and some of the Rust Belt states there. But Kasich pretty much dominated, like in the Midwestern states, Plain states, and West Coast states, with, like I said, O'Malley getting a few and getting Hawaii there. So a pretty interesting matchup. Kasich gets a pretty comfortable victory, 333 electoral votes, as I said, O'Malley 205. So I hope you enjoy this battle with the governors. This is like I said, an alternate history type video, but coin flip battle style. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.